Japanese Grand Prix started off with yet more driver changes. Formula One this season saw a record number of driver changes throughout the season, with 37 actual driver changes taking place and a record number of 46 drivers involved in the series. Well, as the battle raged in the championship battle, the rain fell in Japan. Horrendous conditions as we got the last but one race underway. The chance for Michael Schumacher to wrap up the title here in Suzuka if he could win the race, and he'll finish third or lower. That's certainly the aim of the German, to try and get it all over and done with before they visited the street circuit at Adelaide. The horrendous conditions, however, were catching many people out. Johnny Herbert was out of the race, as was Taki Inoue early on, and another Japanese driver, Ukyo Katayama. The safety car was called out, and on the restart, it was once again Schumacher heading the way. The rain started to fall even more heavily, though, and more accidents were happening. Frank Lagorce went off in a nasty accident with Pierluigi Martini. Michele Alboreto also involved in that. Gerhard Berger out of the race as well. Problems for his Ferrari. The electrics giving up, not surprisingly, in the very wet conditions. And then more disasters and problems as well. Gianni Morbidelli off the circuit, and Martin Brundle going off at exactly the same place, hitting a marshal and breaking the marshal's leg. The race finally abandoned for that moment. The race pulled off, the red flag brought out, and the drivers collecting on the start-finish line. Well, it was to improve, and the cars were once again setting off behind the pace car, and the restart would take place as a rolling start. Michael Schumacher at this point with a 6-second advantage after the first part of the race, so the main thing he had to do was just stay in touch with Damon Hill to take the overall victory. Behind, the two beginning to streak away once again at the front, was a tremendous battle developing between Jean Alesi and Nigel Mansell for third position. It was a battle that produced some of the finest TV pictures from Grand Prix racing all year long. Into the pits for Michael Schumacher on the 22nd lap. No major problems for him, but it would soon become apparent that he had decided to stop twice, as against Damon Hill's just one stop. That battle continues for third position. Mansell trying everything to get alongside the Ferrari. Overall at this point, with the two races added together to give us an aggregate performance, the position is that Damon Hill is leading, from Jean Alesi in second and Michael Schumacher in third, having made his pit stop, but setting some very quick times and soon catching up to Alesi, and then to Hill as well in overall times. Still, that battle was going on between Alesi and Mansell, but everybody was really watching the progress of Schumacher. Could he close up enough to take the lead away from Hill? Well, after his second pit stop, he dropped back again and started to close up the gap. It was getting incredibly exciting as the last laps unfolded, but as the checkered flag came out, everyone waited to see just how close behind Michael Schumacher was. He wasn't close enough, and it was Damon Hill who took probably his finest victory of his career so far. It was a brilliant drive from Hill, who put everything into the last lap to keep Michael Schumacher behind him, and it was enough to take the championship to the last race in Australia. A good third for Alesi, and fourth in the end for Nigel Mansell.